Wes, we're going with the 49ers. T, how do you feel about your team and how they did this year when it comes
Uh,
to draft picks?
Me first. I am a 49ers fan first and foremost, so I am biased, but I'm gonna keep it real. I thought that the 49ers draft was a B minus. It could have been a little better. We'll see what happens, right? You know, you can't really accurately grade a grab and grade a draft until a couple years from now. But the Kinlaw pick basically replaces Buckner, right, for a cheaper price. So I'm satisfied with that pick there. They traded up into the first round to get Brandon Ayuk. Um, I like Brandon Ayuk. I think he's a boomer bust guy, though. I've heard him compared to Garcon. I've heard him compared to OBJ. Uh, I don't know. I've also
Hey,
heard him compared to,
hey,
to Quentin Patton, if you guys even know who that is. If you're a 49ers fan, you know who Quentin Patton is.
Right.
So, but one thing I do trust is I trusted Lynch and I trust Kyle. I trust them to get it right. And I think the 49ers did a good thing. Colton McKivitz, he'll be a swing tackle because the 49ers have McGinchey. We got, what's my guy? Trent from the Redskins. If he's even close to what Staley was, the 49ers offense should keep rolling. And we got a bunch of guys. We got two running backs. We got a bunch of guys that actually we got one in the draft. We got one undrafted that I'm really high on. But I think the 49ers keep rolling. I think they're the team to beat in the NFC still. So I'm going to give them – I think I already gave them my grade. Y'all go ahead, man. I don't want to talk too much about my team.
Team, man.
all right, Bryce, how you feel about this?
I like it. I like it. I like the draft, man. Mainly because they're first two picks. I'm gonna be honest, man. They got some guys I wasn't too sure about and with the later picks. I like Jawan Jennings out of Tennessee though, but Kinlaw and Brandon Ayuk solidified this draft for me. Ayuk is, to me, I think he's got star potential. I'm surprised that it's almost surprised he didn't go even higher because he in any other draft he's likely the first receiver off the board. So I really like that pick. I really like that pick, and it's almost like the rich get richer in that aspect because the 49ers got weapons on top of weapons, man. So you add Ayuk to that mix, and that could be something serious. There's no excuse for Jimmy Garoppolo this season, in my opinion. I give the 49ers a B plus.
I'm giving
Okay,
them an
Nick, go
A.
ahead.
I'm giving them an A. I'm surprised you didn't give them an A. Because, look, this is how I look at it. When you're a team as good as the 49ers, you're literally a few plays away from winning a championship. You're looking for a couple like really big game-changing players. And in this draft, based on the picks that they had two first-round picks and they had a couple late rounders. They came out with 3 game-changing players. Javon Kinlaw, arguably, he could be the best defensive lineman of the draft, not named Chase Young. And you never know about that. The dude is a straight disrupting force in the middle of that defense. To me, he's going to be better than DeForest Buckner in the long term. So I think that was a great pick, great value with that spot. And then I absolutely love the pick of Brandon Ayuk because he was the number 1 receiver on their board. 49ers brass had him ranked higher than Henry Ruggs, higher than CD Lamb, higher than every receiver in the draft. So for him to be on the board in the late 20s, that's a steal. He's going to be potentially the best receiver in this draft. He has the opportunity to be on a team that's already that good. Then you pick up Trent Williams, and this is why I gave him an A, really. You pick up Trent Williams for a 3rd rounder next year and a 5th. You're coming in 3rd day of the draft, 5th round, and you're picking up Trent Williams with a 5th rounder. Masterful GMing. That's an A. I'm giving them an A. They're gonna be back with some big weapons, and they're gonna be ready to play.
No, look. I feel you on the
Wow.
Ayuk pick a little bit. Like, here's a tidbit about Ayuk. Ayuk is 6 feet 6'1", but his arms are about an inch shorter than Calvin Johnson's, who's 6'5". So Shanahan got his guy, but I personally don't like when coaches get their guy. I'd rather see the GM do the GM job. When coaches start reaching and trading up, I think things get kind of shaky. But I feel you. But I'm gonna stay in that B range.
No, sorry, let me put in a quick plug in. If that's the case, we should tell owners to stay out the Redskins draft board when it comes to quarterback. But let's stay in the West Coast. And Nick, how you feel about the Cardinals draft, my boy?
Hey, honestly, I like the Cardinals draft. I didn't expect Simmons to be on the board at pick 8, so I think that was like a pretty good pick, steal. Um, Especially for a defense that was pretty horrible last year. So they talking about the offense being good, and I think the offense will be better. But if the defense sucks, they're just going to be kind of running around doing the same thing they did last year. So I think that was a good pick. Really liked a couple out of their picks. I think they got good value. Josh Jones is a guy who could have been a late first rounder. So I think he was good value there. I like Rashard Lewis, Evan Weaver, a couple good picks in the late rounds. I think they did a good job. I'm going to give them a B+.
Okay. Hey T, how you feel about him?
I think the Cardinals did. I'm gonna give them a solid B. I like Simmons. We can't forget that they got D Hop. They didn't have a second round pick, but they got D Hop. I'm gonna start calling Kyler Murray Birdman. Baby, you just gonna have to be Baby from Cash Money. I'm gonna start calling Kyler Murray Birdman. It's gonna be a lot of Cash Money in that end zone this season with that tandem. But I'm gonna give them a B. They got a tackle. I don't even think Josh Jones has to play right away. But if he does, I'm sure he'll step in and do all right. It's a B. It's a B for me. You got a linebacker that can do it all, literally, and you got D Hop, unarguably the best receiver if he was in this draft. So it's a B for me.
All right. Hey Bryce, how you feeling about the Cardinals?
Yeah, man. I think T made a good point, especially with the Simmons, man. You get a do-it-all linebacker. Like, you get Isaiah Simmons in the draft, and to me, the lowest possible grade I can give you is a B+. Unfortunately, to me, they didn't do anything to raise that grade, so I keep it at a B+. But hey, look, you get Simmons, you get Josh Jones, who might be slightly developmental, but hey, you got to play him. He looked like he can play. He got the size to play immediately. And they last pick, Benjamin. This is a guy you should watch out for, man. He had a very productive career at Arizona State, man. I think he can come in and be a solid running back in the league.
All right. So, Bryce, how you feel about the Seahawks?
Man, the Seahawks, I wasn't in love with this draft, to be honest. When I reviewed this draft, and I hold it up next to my board, man, I got to give them around, B-. But one thing I'll say with these defensive-minded teams and organizations is, like, when you see them pick a defensive player high that you weren't expecting to go that high, it gotta raise the antennas, and that's what it did for me with Jordan Brooks. Like, I went from thinking like this guy was, in the 50s, 60s range, and then when I see them take him at 27, it's like, okay, maybe I got to go back and watch this tape again. And when I watch it again, I see what they saw. He got a little bit of Bobby Wagner to him, So for the Seahawks, man, I got to stick with the B-. But I also like them grabbing DJ Dallas out of Miami. He a running back. They how they do. They stable of backs. They gonna churn them in and out. They got to have multiple running backs, so you can expect him to get carries this season. B- for the Seahawks for me.
All right, Nick, how you feel about the Seahawks?
Honestly, man, when you look at Seahawks drafts, they never particularly grade out well the year of the draft. If you look back at a couple years of the draft, Russell Wilson posted it recently. Hey, man, they graded our draft. They gave us a D- on draft day. That's the same draft class that brought home the championship. So the thing about the Seahawks is you really don't know about the draft, and they draft dudes that you don't really expect. I like the Bobby Wagner replacement. I think that was a good, solid pickup. The rest of the guys, man, I don't really know about, but I'm not going to knock the dudes because, like, they got the right positions, the right players, and they're probably going to bring in guys that are going to be Seahawks-type players. They fortified the offensive line. They got another running back. They addressed the pass rush, which was one of the biggest concerns for them, particularly with your boy I forget his name, but they got rid of it now. But they got the pass rush addressed, man. I like what they did. I'm going to give them a solid B- as well. I'm just going to leave it there because who knows, man.
See, try to be biased.
No, I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to give them a B. I generally trust what the Seahawks do. They have their formula, their own home brewing recipe. They typically make good use out of the guys that they draft. Like you said, Jordan Brooks, they're hoping to be the next Wagner. One thing that struck me is they drafted a tight end, 4th round. Maybe he's a special teamer, but you have tight ends. Disley was hurt, but he was productive when he was there. You have Greg Olsen. So maybe we see the evolution of the Seahawks offense to where they're coming out in new formations where there's 3 tight ends, and you see a little bit of what maybe the Patriots might do, or, just a pure power run team. They're going back to that. I hear Lynch is looking to come back. So I don't know. I don't know, but I give it a B-. I trust what the Seahawks have done. They've paid Russ. Russ will generate the offense. They got DK. DK had an amazing season. I didn't think DK would have the season that he did, but 50-something catches. He had 100-something targets, though, but that's the hater in me. But he had about 900 yards, so we can't knock 900 yards from a rookie receiver.
I'm gonna catch 1 out of every 2 passes thrown my way, though. But I'll take the 900 yards.
Facts.
All right, guys. With the last team 2 years ago, the Super Bowl runner-ups. T, tell me how you feel about the Rams.
This draft is a F. It's a E. It's a fail. I hated this draft. I feel like the Rams did not get better. A lot of teams tried to get better. I'm not sure what the Rams were doing here, honestly. Cam Akers, do you like him over Darrell Henderson? Personally, I don't. I think maybe those split carries at best. They got a receiver, but they didn't have a problem with receivers. I'm not sure. Sean McVay, he was the wonder boy, right? He was the guy. I think the NFL's figured him out. I think the Rams are struggling. They don't know what to do at this point. They were all in for a championship. It didn't work, and now they're just drawing straws, searching for answers. I hate this draft, and I got my crystal ball. I keep a crystal ball on me. Rams will finish fourth in the division, and Trevor Lawrence will be a potential pick for the Rams. I think they'll be a terrible team this season.
Wow, bold statements, man. Bold statements. All right, Nick, how do you feel about the Rams?
I wasn't too impressed by the draft. I didn't think they got too many really big time names. When a running back's your first pick, I'm automatically not giving you a great grade. Y'all know how I feel about that. But I do like Van Jefferson, 3rd round. Terrell Lewis, I think he was underrated. So I do have some guys in this class. I think Jordan Fuller is another guy who was a late guy, but I think he does look at a lot of things very well, and I think he'll end up developing to a pretty good prospect for them. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give them a C.
Hey, Bryce, how you feel about the Rams?
Yeah, I'm similar to these fellas, man. I'm not too high on the picks. I mean, they did the most they could with what they had, but they're in a situation where they mortgage a lot of their future for the now. And I think T was pointing at that a little bit, man. When you mortgage your future for the now, you run into problems later. And they're starting to run into some of those problems. I think this draft was the first one. And, some of those – I like Cam Akers. I like Van Jefferson. I like a lot of these guys. I'm just not in love with. I like Terrell Lewis, but I don't love any of these guys as prospects. I don't see any first-year game changers on the next level. Maybe Akers, but I don't know, man. It gets a C+ for me.
Hey, fellas, if you guys keep a close attention to this division, man, it looks like you guys are going off each and every year. I think the Seahawks go to the Super Bowl this year from your division. The way you guys are looking.
No, I think it's a strong division.
I don't think the Seahawks have the offense to win the Super Bowl, personally. I don't know. They look pretty fit.
Think about it, fellas.
They look mediocre a lot of times.
The Rams only needed one more game, and they would have been in the playoffs.
They wouldn't have done
in my opinion, this is by far the strongest division.
Because the Rams had a better record than the Eagles.
Tough division. For sure.
Yeah,
it's definitely a tough division. I think the Cardinals will be more competitive, too, for sure.
I think the Cardinals are a borderline playoff team. I think a lot of teams don't want to play Kyler Murray and D Hop. That's going to be a future tandem that's going to be crazy.
Okay, guys. Now you guys are being disrespectful now, man. I get it, but come on now, man. The Rams are in bad teams, man. Put some respect on Aaron Donald's name. Like, you acting like he's not going to blow up that Cardinals offensive line. Put some respect on that boy's name. Come on now, man. Like,
I don't know. I don't know if they finished last, but they
I
might
don't
finish
know.
third. It's close.
It's all about the Cardinals. It's gonna be all about Kyler Murray, man. If he makes any more of a jump, they're gonna be better. But at this point, man, they got their team in his hands, in my opinion, because they got our weapons around them. It's about
Fellas, let's not forget about that sophomore slump.
yeah.
That rookie's the greatest rookie of all times now. Come on now. Like,
I don't.
put some respect on some golf's names, man. The man did go to the Super Bowl. That man did shoot it out with the Chiefs and won. So come on now. Like, let's not think Jared Goff is some bum now. Like, yeah, they might overpay him, but shit. Even Carson Wentz got overpaid. Look at them now. The Eagles went up and got a quarterback in the second round pick. So let's put some respect on these Rams teams, man. In my point of view, man, between these both West Coast divisions, out of all 8 of those teams, the best draft, in my opinion, was Las Vegas Raiders. They went and got some receivers for Derek Carr, excuse me, guys. And look at them, man. It looks like the Raiders are going to be a team to be reckoned with. That defense was healthy in the beginning of the season, then got hurt due to injuries. Defense played poorly at the end of the season, but I think the Raiders are going to make a playoff push next year.
All right, fellas. Last shot. I'm gonna put it out to y'all for one last shot. Out of all the teams we mentioned today, which team has the biggest improvement? I'm going with the Cardinals, personally.
I'm going with the Raiders.
I'm a side with your Cardinals. I saw what Kyler Murray did without D-Hop, and he gave the 49ers fits. I mean, you can't catch him. He's deadly accurate. I feel like he's Russ 2.0. I'm going with the Cardinals. They make a big jump this year.
Man, I think the rich got richer, man. I got to go with the 49ers. They get the best left tackle in football, in my opinion. On top of that, they get, to me, the best, possibly the best down defensive lineman in this draft. And then, to me, the best receiver in this draft, honestly, in Brandon Ayuk. So the rich get richer. I think the 49ers improved. And, that team is going to be tough.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How much better can you get than 13? Well, however many wins they have. But I feel you, though. I think they got the most improvement, for real. But y'all know what time it is, fellas. If you don't know, better ask somebody. Go ahead. If you're not already following us, go ahead and follow us on all social media platforms. That's at Good Ass Sports on Twitter and IG. Go ahead and subscribe to our podcast. We're on all major platforms. Google, Spotify, wherever you listen to them, we there. And then you know what else to do. Go ahead, Bryce. Tell them what else we got to do. We got one more thing they need to download.
Well, they got to download. They got to download the app, man. If you just pull up your app store, type in Gas Network. It's simple. It's as simple as it gets. Gas Network. I don't know how we can make it easier for y'all. You guys see the logo in the top right corner. Whenever you see those brackets with the gas in between, you know what it is. Sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.
Sports for the culture.
Deportes para la cultura.